Any questions you have? Okay, hold it. Hold it. Okay. So we will cover some quite important parts here, and then we stop somewhere, and then we will do the question and answer. Okay? And then I have a simple shit. Tela takti and shoram nige nishiti. Tela tamboni nilengi kumbu di lambada teni sa yawa chima pinchi di dunyana jamba os katani di kaundera. Oba dudu dunye gine, oba droba la tembe dunye gine, dunye gine, yube dunye gine, dujibi dunye yube seyade. 당부디 이게 교전들라 예능이 풍부들 랑걸 때니 아니 개와 치마 풍지기 때문에 딩들이 있어야 돼. 엄버들 때문에 네. 다네다 이바들이야. 이번에 풍부 룹스벌 룹스인 때인데 안 나가서 때리고 스티는 나와.
Okay, so touching on those five, on the suffering of the five appropriated aggregates, the explanation of the first two sufferings. So, the vessel for future suffering. So here, with regard to the first point, you induce suffering in future lives by taking up these appropriated aggregates. And then the second point, vessel for suffering based on what presently exists. As for the second, the appropriated aggregates form the basis for states such as illness and old age that are grounded in the already existing aggregates.
somebody shivani dumeni ti ni jesu deve ani tini ke o sidu sambe ta kanda ni fubu de dejine tabi shugura ani tini ni di poroshin keke beres.
So then, as for the third and the fourth, so the vessel is a vessel for the suffering of pain and the vessel for the suffering of change. So the third and the fourth both come about because the appropriated aggregates are linked with dysfunctional tendencies towards these two types of suffering. So once we have these appropriated aggregates, then naturally the suffering of pain and the suffering of change arise.
아버니 예능이 공부 도구 전개 유지 유능이 하신데 레다 용과 아미 신유공도 규배 두지 탐지 두지 유능이 치료 동청부 괜히 단내가 제주도 나가다 넘데 디시프 동의 수기가 시험을 차고 서울 시민스 다 개체들이 예능이 풍부 당신이 코알라 교환 해마시 맞제나 타버트니 결로 내마시 계산네 타지 대마제나 심지어 코어 참바를 인지 청부인 계답 매베 인지 청부스 가르스 타지시 계답 요마데스 대매베 태과 청부도 중국 강도 주자 삼바데 시도 개쳐 스타데냐 잡아.
Yes. So as with regard to the fifth, the vessel for the suffering of conditionality, the very existence of the appropriated aggregates constitutes the nature of suffering of conditionality, because all of the compositional factors which depend upon previous karma and afflictions are the suffering of conditionality. And this will be explained in detail in the second of the three sufferings. So now here's the most important point, like a summary overall about the importance of this reflection. If you do not cultivate a genuine sense of disenchantment with cyclic existence, the nature of which is the appropriated aggregates, you will have no chance to develop a genuine mind intent on liberation, and there will be no way for you to develop great compassion for living beings wandering through cyclic existence. So however much you want to develop compassion, if you don't have this arising before, there's no way for compassion to arise. Hence, this reflection is extremely important, regardless of which vehicle, Mahayana or Hinayana, that you enter. Even when you have developed a sense of disenchantment with cyclic existence, follow that bit is we haven't read. Okay, so hence this reflection is extremely important, regardless of which vehicle, Mahayana or Hinayana, that you enter.
Oh yeah. So now, this is a huge summary of what when we always think about any kind of suffering, and then if you can connect to this, these problem will be there because the way of my thinking, everything, my body pain, my mind upset very quickly, all this anxiety or so on, but you can name any problem that you are going through. So, not just complaining about other people, environment, that and this, but if you could really connect this to, because all this comes because I have this so-called these 5 aggregates, and then it becomes a huge foundation for you to bring. Now I'm under liberation. Once you have that kind of set of mind, before getting a liberation is a bit far to reach. But most beautiful thing that what will happen is, if we have, in Tibetan we have a saying, if it is something burning here, don't let the smoke come out. So for us, many of us, ordinary beings, what we do, whenever we are so under the sway of negative emotion, we have complained so much. Of course we will complain because we how much say yes, there's something wrong about me, but automatically you will point the finger to the other person, the situation. Now the huge shift, having this kind of a mindset, you will try to look as, I should complain about others for sure, but you will check your own mind. Why this has happened to me on this day? For why me? Then you try to sit down and then you can connect like, yes, of course, this can happen to me. I can feel there's causes and conditions right coming up, and then this happens. And then you will start going to connect suffering to the rebirth. And then you will feel like, wish there is something that now I can renounce from that. And then wish, that kind of wish, if you see other people having some kind of problem, sickness, death, or any kind of the complaint they are making, and then the genuine compassion, now we are talking about. It's not like, oh, wish he does not get a sickness, or wish he does not die, but more important, may he also get this kind of antidote. So then, here comes the great compassion. Otherwise, our compassion is very limited. Like in these days, when our friends are in a trouble, got into a fight, and what we do is to give him a good company. We make kind of like, yeah, you did something right, the problem is from that side. Yes, your friend, that is such annoying. I know from the beginning. Looks like you are helping, but you are really destroying. You are making huge contribution to his ignorance and his anger. But we don't feel that. So now, as a practitioner, having this kind of a huge, broad mind, and then to reach to the liberation, number one. Even not, then you can, as I said, you are not letting the smoke come out. That's a good practice. Why not letting smoke away? You might also let other people annoy too. You cannot fix your problem, you complain a lot, and you make my friend Alex person, he used to say, he always tells his students, don't make a scene, a huge scene out from there. So we do that. So this is very important. This becomes one of the number one foundation for the renunciation now. Starting in the world, Ritu Kangdu, Kiawa Penche, Natsatan, Chiwala Sobe, Dumi Chungwa, Najushin, Away, Chibushin, Chiway, Tell a new wish Lobo de Chungwa, mean Koe Tsini Tang, Ramshini, Core Neringla, Telemande, Raja Tele Yijuna, Kiawa Bongo, Ju Bongo Sombata, Arashib, Tierka, Nachi Soji, Dumi Chungwa, Nam, the Teto Samon said, Potavish. Potawa. There's a Potawa.
Yeah. So as Badawa said, it's a little further down. There you go.
Yeah.
As soon as we are born, as any one of these 6 types of beings, we are faced with the sufferings of sickness, death, and so forth. When the cause of sickness is present, we are sick. When the cause of death is present, we die. This is neither inappropriate nor accidental. It is the character or nature of cyclic existence. While we are in cyclic existence, there is no escaping it. If we are disgusted by it, then we must eliminate the process of birth. To do this, we must eliminate its cause. Reflect in this way on the arising of the sufferings explained above, the suffering of birth, old age, illness, death, and so forth.
So now it's full of complaint. This is the complaint box of the practitioner. But the way we complain and the way they complain is 2 different things. So this is something that we sometimes need to bring it, adapt this. Very important. So we'll keep it here and go to some questions. Okay, who raised hand? You, yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to say that I can recommend good pizza places in Italy, so I hope you get your visa. And I wanted to ask how to incorporate the idea of the 6 realms without introducing fear.
Kamdruk ki samlok di jigbadang madelo di shenang malangbe jigden kamdruk ki kola kanti samlotang ko dane. Kamdruk the 6 realms. Di ki kola samlotang ni jikba kegido chesan jikba makebe yana shenang makebe gone kandi samadong.
So in these 6 realms,
Six rounds come
6 realms, Italy is included.
Demigods.
Lamai.
Okay. That did not all as if you still have a quite a refresher of this, what I just said, then we should have a fear. 100% fear. Different types of fear. Fear not like, not you are not going to, the fire is burning and you are in the fire, not like that. So it's like you are 10 miles, like 100 miles from fire, you're 50 miles from fire, and you're 2 miles from fire, and you are only maybe 200 meters from fire. That's it. So how smart are you to bring the fear before? And then I would say, if you are clever, even you are in the heavens, then you will not really enjoy the time there. So that's why, bless you, when somebody in this planet Earth, and the human being, generates this sort of practice, when the person is generating the renunciation, Buddhista, then it's in the sutra that the gods and demigods, with the clairvoyance, they can see, oh, this beautiful human being now is generating the renunciation. Wish we can do that. But they are so fully occupied by happiness. This kind of fear, this kind of thing, it's quite we can have this kind of play form only in the human realm. So in the God's realm, it's too difficult. Like me going to Rome and practicing renunciation. No way. Nothing. I'm not coming. So, like that. So it is such a great moment. Once you have this kind of mindset, now it is not the problem, the wrong. The real question is, once I'm always pushed under the sway of the karma, under the sway of the negative emotions, I don't want to take the risk. That's a biggest conclusion. And nature of the core, the dungi.
The nature of cyclic existence is in the nature of suffering.
Nature of suffering. Why? As explained here,
Why? It's because it's under the power or under the control of karma and afflictions.
So, now you are not really having a fear of the realm itself. You fear more that how your mind is by controlled. That's more dangerous. So so once you are born in the hell, in the God's realm, demigod, God saying, you know the God and demigod saying, right? It's the same, 100% same. The problem is, sometimes when we get quite annoyed by a friend, we tell our human friend, are you human? You go ask this guy, are you human? So the gods, they behave well, and the naughty gods are known as demigods. So they just change into that. So then they have a different kind of levels now, because it looks like a little bit of caste system there. Still God. So now in animals, huge difficulty. Look at the monkeys now. No room to ask this question. Forget about the animal realms. So God's fully occupied, reserved by the enjoyment until they suffer, the last minute suffering. So now we only human are we could say like the precious human rebirth. I never heard precious God's rebirth by the great masters. This is why. If this is not there, all the realizations will never come out. Because you are enjoying, then why you need the realizations? So that's why here it says, even you on the lower path or higher path, wherever Hinayana, Mahayana, Tantrayana, wherever, if you don't have this, and then how much you are asking for the realization, it's not coming out. And this is very common with the other practitioners, the Hindus and everything. But then they are recognizing the moksha is different. Because the way of the method to get the renunciation or the liberation, the method is different. And recognizing what is the root of the samsara is different. Then there is different views. Yeah. So, if you have already brought your ticket to this Dharamsala, 6 rounds.
6 rounds.
Yes, 6 rounds. So don't forget to buy the insurance. So, as he says, has to happen. And that's a good fear. Fear before the accident is good. The fear last minute is always the worst case. So that's why when we take refuge, we take with one out of fear. Right? One with the fear. One with the
Refuge, yeah. Refuge.
Refuge. No fear, no refuge. That's how it goes. Yeah. First fear, then refuge. First fear, then refuge. It's not like in the Buddhist, you will help me together. No. That's how Buddha put it. I have shown you the path. I have delivered you these methods. Now you do the same. You apply that. On the when you go through how I give you this, the methods. If you go through that path, I will be there for you whenever you need. That is why. So then we say manifestation of our lotus, manifestation of that, and that. So we obviously along the path. If you push something yourself, then there is someone who is always guiding us. Like that, you can do it. It's not like you don't do anything. I will take care of it. Not we are waiting for that kind of signal. And this becomes very essential, this one. And now the biggest question, as you ask, this fear, one of the best answer will be, how are you going to use this fear into tools? So still we have enough time. Looks like we have enough time to do something. So, yeah, yes? Okay?
I have some follow-up questions.
Yes, okay, bring it on.
Okay. So two of them would be, isn't that bringing about more suffering? And the second one is, having the fear of how my brain works, I have the fear that this idea of the 6 rounds will come on my deathbed. So you said not to bring more fear into your deathbed.
No, we are already in the round. Yes, we are there. But still, it's such a gift to saying like, I know I'm suffering. That's great. Many people are not noticing that. We are always good at pointing the finger to the outside situation. There's nothing happening from your mind side. Why this has to happen to me? Why this has to happen to me? Not like this is happening because there's some big contribution from my side to have this kind of thing. So, and then if you think it's going to have a fire, and then you will just think like there will be fire, but you go and buy this fire extinguisher.
Extinguisher.
Okay. Extinguisher. So brings confidence. Right? So it's like, with the fear that there will be fire, it helps you to buy this extinguisher. So that's good. But that's a very, very large extinguisher. Yeah, so no more burning. Oh, that's good. So no more suffering. That's it. Okay? Okay. Okay. For the lady.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I have a question about hope.
Hope?
Yes.
Okay.
You talked about hope. And you said without hope, we can't get liberated. For me, hope means another kind of attachment, maybe illusion. Because when I can experience hopefulness, the other extreme would be hopelessness.
Okay.
And I actually want to live and practice hope-free, not hopeless.
Okay.
Is it possible?
I think so. I think you need to have one of the best dictionary of what is the definition of hope. That hope means, as the Buddha himself said, the greatest hope for us, how much we are suffering, how much we are deluded, but it's more like the space and like a sky, and then there is a cloud. The problem is not the cloud is permanently there. So once the cloud is gone, that space is free, that sky is free. So what we are trying to say is, we don't say, now there's no hope. There is a hope once that Ramshi, Chesangati, Jiro was Lubu Vitima, Ramshi Vitima, Lubu Vitima, Slavana Shinchi, Timoy, Lubu, Lubu Vitimati, Tauju to be, Dimazovita, Hope Davis, Lubu Vitimati, Tauju Merina, and other hopeless later. The Lubu Vitimati, Lubu Vitimati, Timay, Lubu would be able to kill me. Dila, that's something that the song to the water, Tanda, no more bung you or say you or say, the Shina,
So it's looking at stains, whether they, stains or the dirt, if the stains are naturally there or if they are adventitious, temporary, and can be removed. And so then when you look into it, the stains of our mind, the Buddha taught that these are adventitious, they're temporary, they can be removed. So we have to check whether we have to ask ourselves whether stains are naturally there or whether they're adventitious and can be removed. And so then there's this presentation that comes later on about the stains of our afflictions, whether they can, or the method to remove those stains, to abandon those stains of the affliction. That will come later.
Yeah. So that's why in the Buddhism.
And so if the stains are not able to be removed, if they're not adventitious, temporary, then we would be hopeless. But the presentation is that they can be removed.
In Buddhism, that's why we always eager to know what is the nature of mind, what is the nature of I, what is the nature of phenomena. We always try to investigate that. But this is our biggest hope. So that's why even when we discussed a bit before, there is nothing permanent, there is nothing solid as like truly inherently existence. That is hopeless. That is thing that it looks like where we cling to the situation. That is the like permanently, this is something solidly. You hold it, then how much you practice others, emptiness, selflessness, then deep inside you hold to this. You get something to hold to that situation. And then there's no purification. The best purification is say, oh, how much I hold to this situation. Now I have seen, I can see, I can feel through my investigation, through my realization. There's nothing solidly true to existence as it appears to me. What it appears, it does not exist like that. So then you just realize, this is our hope. This is where we are taking the refuge. This is the cessation. This is the emptiness where we take refuge in. Full of hope. Even hopeless is hope.
Do you have any tips, maybe be practical? How can I practice? How can I make space for hope when all things fall apart?
Make a space?
Yes.
For hope.
Make a space
for hope when everything falls apart.
Actually, it's not falling apart. You are maybe putting quite a big high expectation. Look at this quotation. This is why I think that will really answer your question. This one, this is waiting for you. Look. This is looking at you, David. Bodhava. Say, maybe you have a close connection to the Bodhava, maybe. Look, that's there. Okay, yeah. All this, we have to accept it. It's saying like this looks like limitation. We are here in this world, and then this is where, look, it happens. So, what's the big deal with that? So, real thing is, now you don't want that. Then you need to look one step back from this samsara mind, and then you have to ask this question. So then there's a space. Otherwise, you're in that situation. How much you say I want a space, you will never feel that there's a space. So this is how you buy the space. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
So I think I'm very different from all of questions just arrived. It looks like everybody is kind of in a zone of fear, confusion, who like tormented by something. I faced many difficult, traumatic situations early in my life, and at that time it was very painful. But then with teachings that I received, and what you were teaching, that of course when you are born in this life, you are bound to face all this, right, with 5 aggregates. And now, because of these teachings, I feel very comfortable. Of course, there are little problems, but I feel very contented and comfortable. Now my focus is not like, oh, I should be tormented. I'm not tormented by this thirst of getting enlightened or like fear of cyclic existence, but more of like how can I help other people is my like goal, even though I can't do much. So is it a problem, one? And how to, so even though like learning all of this, how is there one practice to make me tormented? I don't know.
Okay. You are tormented, but you don't feel that. Wait for a few days, and then you start losing the temper. That's a sign. That's the reaction. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you say that you can follow up what I've been saying these few days, and then if it is a bit comfortable for you to say all this problem, there was what you traumatized, or the problem or the situation that you have already experienced in the past, you can relate. This is coming because of this 5 aggregates where I'm born, that I have to face this. It looks like that we can accept it. But the more difficult part is once you listen to it, it is like, it sounds so true. But day-to-day life, once it comes to like the real critical situation, it's very hard. So that's why here Lama Tsongkhapa says, not just listening, but you need to put that into your meditation. Who will gladly take this into meditation? I think nobody in this room. Maybe 1 or 2 people might buy this stuff. I'm hopeful. I'm a very I am a kind of optimistic guy. But it's a very heavy stuff. So that's why I'm saying. That's why not only me, even His Holiness' main focus, he always tried to give this teaching before all the initiations, like His Holiness gives a Kala Chakra initiation, he says, why the biggest reason you know why I give the Kala Chakra initiation? Not that because I believe that you are capable, you are ready to practice this, but the name of the Kala Chakra initiation sounds so important, and then many people will gather. And then I can get a platform to give this teaching to you all. That's what he always says. But he knows from out of like 100,000 people, maybe let's say for His Holiness case, maybe let's say 200, 300 people. But this is how if you are under the sway of the compassion, this is how. If you cannot share this teaching, you cannot discuss this thing, then Buddhas will be not happy. Bodhisattvas will be not happy. Arhats will be not happy. Who went through this kind of procedure? Otherwise, remember what I said this morning. Buddha says, I'm not here to give a tip for you to stay happily in the samsara. This is why. So now, you need to bring some kind of one day, some kind of a big problem situation happens, then if you have a courage to yourself, saying like, you look into your mind, way of the situation, you say like, when the tear drops, maybe other person might think that you got so hurt by what other persons or the situation affected you, but this tear is the result of, because I'm born, and this will happen, and this happened to me, and I take this as a blessing. This is why it's a correct way to become monks and nuns and run away from. Now I want some kind of space. This is how it becomes. Otherwise, there will be not that kind of a feeling. Anyway, so now when we have to get this kind of get familiarized, and then time to time when you reach out to help many people, as you said, this is your goal to help other people. So all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, how they help? Like there are so many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in this world who's selling tea, I guess, who may be doing so many unnecessary things when we look at that. But why they are doing this thing? They wanted to connect. They wanted to build such a kind of a karmic connection with the sentient beings, so that in the future that they can deliver this sort of teaching and then to get out from the samsara. That's the way. So now when you give a piece of advice, even we say we eat a food, then we say like, this time I eat a food, and then there are so many kind of germs and insects or whatever in this body who is really get a satisfaction from this. Say like, this time I temporarily give this satisfaction to you. With this kind of a connection, may in the future, may I can give this teaching to you. Connects. So if you look at the Buddha's sutra, it's not only talking about emptiness and bodhicitta. Mostly it's a story, it's like to gain more faith in this kind of making relation with the other people. How he says, look at now as I'm a Buddha. I got this bodhicitta. And this bodhicitta, it's not just came by just like putting effort for 30, 40 years. I have through my omniscience, I can see such a long, eons and eons. I see now how I have accumulated this merit. one time he shares that he's in the sutra he says, I remember that I was one young girl, and then there was a monk visiting in the family, and then I pull out the monk's robe was quite torn, and then she brings this kind of sewing.
Yeah, sewing.
Needle, and then thread. So she makes a prayer. May this needle be a visitor, and with this thread be the method. So now I patch this. May I can, all through all the parameters, practices, all 6 perfections, may I can develop in this life. So the tear drops out. And with this kind of a strong, I have made a huge prayer from that time. I remember very clearly. He shared this to his students. All the sutra contains so many stories like that. Why? Right now, if you look at it, it looks like a story like, oh, Buddha tells a story. Okay, where is the big part? This is the huge part. So that's bringing all this together. That's so important. So now we need to bring this kind of attitude to help other people. We do it. But when we help it, what it really means to help? How much are we going to help? Even you are the richest person in this world. What can you do? You can give maybe $1 billion to all the human beings on this planet and say no war, stay peacefully. Can you bring the peace? I don't think so. So then, even somebody is sick, you give him all the medication and there's some kind of support and he recovers. Then what? The biggest problem is he will be, even he becomes the richest guy, he becomes most poor guy, and maybe he reborn in the hell realm or wherever. The problem is he will suffer. This is now one kind of teaching that we are looking for. This is whatever kind of a connection we make, we don't let go this kind of prayer, this kind of making commitment. So that's why every time when we do the class starts, we say the technique which is saying generating the bodhicitta is there others. How to bodhicitta? So now it's a complete kind of a definition of bodhicitta. May I can deliver the antidote, how to eliminate the suffering from the root. May I can deliver to them. That's the bodhicitta. So, continue whatever you are doing, help others, whatever. But in one side of your awareness, should bring this practice. And then know how to complain. How to complain. So once we lose this awareness, then we might complain in a very different way. Same, we do that. But then you really know that. I'm not saying everything is on you. Of course, there were so many difficult people. Even on the Bhumi, the Bodhisattva was saying like, I cannot help it. So there is a problem with all sort of the sentient beings out there. Okay, be ready for it. But the most important part, which is your part, then now you need to really connect it. And then say like, this if I cannot control, I will be never happy. Okay? Yeah. Okay, Tamar. Tomer, that's how you say it.
Yes.
Okay. He asked a very difficult question. Now, be kind to me. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much for your precious teaching. So beneficial, so helpful. So I asked a question from our discussion group. One person said, yes, I agree that attachment is a problem and is a cause of suffering, but I don't see why do you need emptiness. He said, I feel like that you can get rid of attachment with other ways. So then emptiness is not necessary. So we were discussing the connection between self-grasping ignorance, takzin, and attachment. So can you talk about this connection? And can you talk about how can we get conviction in this?
Okay.
Like not just intellectually, but how can we get conviction that this is true?
Okay. So, attachment. When we say attachment, so the attachment is, first of all, to say attachment is a problem is a great way to say it. But do we really understand when we say attachment is a problem? Do we really understand the attachment? So then we really need to know the object of the attachment, how we obsessed with.
Yeah, adhere or adhered object. Adhered object. Adhered. Yeah. Zindangi, adhered object or engaged object.
Do you understand that?
It's technical word.
Oh yeah.
But the way attachment holds its object. Kake lamna. No.
Not that respect.
Nangi is technical word, and so the engaged object or object of the mode of apprehension. This, but kake lamna, the way you hold the object.
Yeah, how you hold the object. So many practice when they say attachment is a problem, then to reduce, they apply many kinds of the methods like impermanence, so on. So the problem is even seeing the impermanence. Like for an example, if you are going to have your own place, you bought the property and then you build a house, and then the level of the attachment is very strong. So if you are staying in a guest house, 5-star, and then even something kind of something broke is the window of your room, you would not feel that kind of strong towards that. Like you were called like press at 00 or something and say, a glass got broken. Can I change the room? But you have many rooms that you can change. You can go in, but you will hold so tightly, like, now what should I do? Who threw this rock? And what should I teach him a lesson? All this sort of goes on. So, seeing the impermanence, you can see now it's one same person staying in a different places, but through the attachment, how he clings. There it is. So impermanence helps you to reduce, of course, attachment. The problem, the real problem is that attachment when you feel like, yeah, now I was saying it better, it's better. 제자가 차가지기 로다사기 시디 코랑기면 로다사기 시디 코랑기면 코랑기면 디타치 다 코랑기면 여버텔라 앵에들은 로다야 망타샤 니들은 미다고 등에디 직체고도 쓰들 많이 용으로 당그래대 이내 단덕이 쉽게 쓰기 싸워대 하고요. 그래서 코랑기는 삼삼띠 같은데.
So the basis for which the exaggeration of attachment, that basis there for which the superimposition comes of attachment, is that it's held to be existing from its own side, appearing to be real. And so then from that, the object that is the basis for the exaggeration of attachment or the superimposition of attachment, it's appearing to be existing from its own side, existing to be real. And so then on top of that, then we have the exaggeration of attachment arising in the mind, seeing it, all the goodness of it. And then there's this thought that, I need to reduce that, I need to meditate on impermanence about that to reduce this attachment. So you might be able to reduce the attachment a bit, but actually the underlying way that the object of the attachment is being held is that it's with this exaggeration of it existing from its own side. And so until you address that, then you can't get rid of the attachment.
배나 당 저기 셈자베기 로라 아니 단다 전주 셈리 나로야 디 레기어와 저버디 제장가 최탐지 아니 도베다 상대스 최탐지 도베다 상면비 배들이야 아니 셈자베기 로마 시원도 아니 도바 나와서 도바 나와서 시레스 배나 아니 규매지야 시 규매지태요 규매들이야 예법 포지기 따오도 전에 딩이 충만해서 게메레스 사마다인지 도스 테네 배나 지기 다지 베르저 따서로 저거 동거지기 대 규매들 따오도 전에 딩의 칼라베스 삼삼지기요 그래서
그랬다.
마이거 테네 아니 빠와지기 다운도 전에 딩의 포모레 삼삼지기요 그래서 디순가 시지가 요레스 데바레스 통나소소소소를 봐도 개와케요 말레스 이니 시콘 디카람스 시코랑이 면에 게멘도데야 시코랑이 면에 아니 칼라도데야 시코랑이 면에 아니 포모스도데 메베당스 근데 생각이 시고 봐. You understand? A little bit is very dangerous,
So if we look at an example, there's an example presented in Nagarjuna's commentary to Bodhicitta, and it's looking at it from the perspective of the Chittamatra, the mind-only school. So where they give this example for how things are merely imputed, all phenomena are merely imputed. So the example that the mind-only school give, the Chittamatra school give to explain how things are merely imputed, you have this one base, this woman, right, a female. And there's, when this man looks at the woman, he sees her, or this female, he sees her as his wife. And then you have a tiger that looks at this woman, and it sees her as its dinner, its food. And then there's an elder man who looks at this woman and sees her as his daughter, right? And so, actually, these are all true from each of their perspectives. They're all true, but they're all also just mistaken appearances, because the object itself, the woman, is not established as the wife of the man, as the food of the tiger, as the daughter of the elder man, right? So the object itself is not established as those three things.
Truly established like that. And now in the Prasangika school, one of the most powerful the presentation of the merely labeled threat. Dr. Thakur said merely labeled threat.
Yes,
Yeah,
merely imputed.
Merely imputed, yes. Merely imputed. For that example, what becomes most important is you need water? Somebody. So the snake rope is the best example. We know that, right? So it is very powerful presentation there, saying when all the phenomena, how we impute, right? When we impute, so we impute that there is something there, truly existence is there. Like, which is not true, like we bring an example of snake and rope. Not that there is no real snake, but it looks like a snake, the rope looks like a snake, and the stripe, okay? Stripes are that, stripe. Yeah. And then when the person has a fear towards snake, and then he looks at that kind of in this kind of situation with the fear and it's a bit of darkness, and then he looks at that there's like a snake. So now, through his mind, he will definitely think there is a snake there. But on the reality, the tabi mwene du zao yin meba na xin aranzu chue kandriji mwene yinba yinayang ene korangi mwene druba tanda bedo chacha na pyume si labi na korangi mwene pyume si ni jimeba habadu tanda pe desu samada tijubara xie wadu zambe desu tamje tope taksamgi pe yakshu karchayosa na korangi mwene 시 코랑기 면에 뷰메도 두고 코랑기 면에 칼라도 두고 코랑기 면에 아래 가서 범모도 두고 싸워니네 매위자 나도 계제디 시설을 그랬어 코랑기
타마디 가르나기 가리기 개자
아다 숨디가
네네 네 타마니고서
뷰메 범모도 보세요 범모 미숨부터 네 생긴 숨부터 네 코랑기 군주 따당 뒤요 그랬어 얘네 따당 찍가를 놓고 왔으나 코랑이 면에 열었어. 상당한 디노.
I don't know. So with the example of the rope appearing as the snake, so there's no snake there. The snake doesn't exist there on the rope, does it? Right? But the snake appears, and then we impute that on the rope, right? So just like that example, with all phenomena, everything that exists, they have this appearance of existing from their own side, existing in reality from their own side, but they don't actually exist in that way. So like the other example from the Prasangika point of view, if you look at the Chittamatra example of the woman, appearing as the wife and the food and the daughter. So those things, it appears as though she exists as each of those things from her own side, but she doesn't. There's no existing daughter and wife and food from the side of that woman. So there's this appearance of existence from their own side, and that doesn't exist. In reality, it doesn't exist from its own side, but the appearance is there.
So now, if you cannot bring down this truly
Describe
existent...
nothing. So the appearance of the girl being the wife, the daughter, and the food is okay, but the appearing as existing from its own side as that is what is mistaken, is what is wrong.
So now the attachment is not that you are looking at a woman. Attachment is that you see the woman existing by its own. Then there's a problem. This becomes you kind of locked to this kind of mindset. And then how much you say it's impermanent, and all this, she will get aged, and all this, and how much you practice it, still deep inside. So that's why I remember when a few days ago I shared this the Buddha's teaching where he said, why do you think this is the path? So Buddha says this way of practice, just meditating on impermanence, I don't call this is a path. So if you could say, I have seen this girl as illusion light, it covers everything. All this is the real foundation to bring down the attachment. So there's a bit to check on like that. So using other techniques, leaving the object how the appearance of its own side, that you hold it to that, and then you practice all other, and then still you will feel like the attachment is gone. The attachment is now invisible. It's like you have given some kind of when you pull out
anesthetic. Anesthesia. Anesthetic, right?
Yeah.
So you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Anesthetic.
Something like that. But once this wave of this influence of the medicine goes down, then it's there. Because why? For the mindset, you still feel truly existence. You cling to that. So that's why Buddha says, if you cannot touch to that level where you cannot bring this ultimate truth practice, then how much you put emphasizing on other practices, there's no way to bring down the negative emotion at all. So that's the reason. It's not we are thinking about to bring down attachment. What do you really mean? If you're thinking like, oh, this attachment towards this person, then you change another person, attachment towards that person is almost gone now. Bit debatable. But if you really wanted to bring the attachment once and all, right now I have no more attachment, then to bring this confidence, once you cannot bring down the seed, this inherently existence of that object of your attachment, then it will be always be there. This morning, every morning when we make a praise to Buddha Shakyamuni, especially this one, is the most powerful prayer by Nagarjuna's fundamental wisdom. At the end of it, it's very powerful because at the beginning he made homage to emptiness. Then at the end of the chapter, I think it's the 27th chapter, I think. Root of Wisdom by Nagarjuna. 27, only I think one verse is there, which is the homage to Buddha. He didn't make a homage to the Buddha at the beginning. So at that homage, how he put it, yeah, this one. Teacher, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha. But this is not that this is another one.
The Kangitu Zenid is above the second.
I think it goes before that page.
It's the very first. It's right at the beginning, just after the verse of clear ornament of realization. It's the second one, Nagarjuna root verses of the middle way. Right at the beginning. Before this phrase, before this.
Before that, you have. Okay.
Keep going.
At the beginning of. Oh yes.
More up above that, above that.
Yeah.
No, above that one.
Above that, that's hard to say.
There you go.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh, that's it.
Bingo.
Oh, bingo. A proceed to Bodhama, who out of compassion taught the
Exalted
Dharma that leads to the. Can you put that up because the flower is disturbing. that leads to the relinquishing.
Yes.
Relinquishing of all views. So the all views, what does that mean? That means attachment, anger, what you name, any kind of negative emotions, all does have that view. Because you taught the Kasagandhi
exalted Dharma.
Exalted
Dambechu,
or that kind of Dharma. Given this kind of teaching, which now once you eliminate that, you eliminate all the wrong views. Otherwise, if you haven't taught that teaching, many of us will occupied doing any kind of practices to, okay, I will try my best to reduce the attachment on that and the anger. So not like what is the root of all this. So a few days ago, we said, I told you that, what was that? 아니 머리 벗어야지. 아니 하랑 쪽에 루비 공부디 아니 권이 지도 가도 공부시가 탐지를 잡았나 신체제 아니 다도 좀 던진 대벌진 던진세야지. 아니 하랑 쪽에 너무 탐지기 아니 냠도 깨는 데니지. 디메가 수업이나 아니 너무 탐지 정신인가.
So just like I spoke of the other day, the verse from Aryadeva's 400 verses, just as the body sense power pervades all of the other powers, likewise ignorance pervades all of the rest. So in the same way that the body sense power covers all the other sense powers from our head right down to our feet, likewise our ignorance, the grasping at the self or grasping at true existence, this ignorance pervades all of the other afflictions. Whether it's attachment and whatever affliction, it pervades all of them. It goes together with all of them. And so, if you get rid of the ignorance of grasping at a self, of grasping at true existence, then naturally you get rid of all of the other afflictions.
So that's why this becomes one of the most important after the conclusion of all these chapters. Nagarjuna bring lots of debates to the other schools, saying you don't have this, so that's why even you feel like you don't have the attachment, you don't have that and that, but it's more like you don't have it for now, because it is because you have this seed, then it will always be there. So this is why he thanked the Buddha through the outward compassion. You taught that exalted Dharma. So this is who will try to find that teaching? Who will try to find this sort of like even your attachment is not manifested anymore, but who really wants this? It's like, I want to get out of samsara. Not like I wanted to be happy in the samsara, but the attachment is a problem. Then just practicing impermanence is good enough. I had enough of all this negative emotion. I don't want any of this negative emotion. Then you need to find out what is the root of that. Then it will go links to that. Okay, hold on. You finished?
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So, but how do we know that attachment necessarily is based on self-grasping ignorance? Like, how do we know that there is a pervasion, that all attachment minds, the object aspect needs to be appearing to, like, needs to exist inherently from its own side? Because, like, we've never seen a rabbit with horns, but it doesn't mean that because we've not seen a rabbit with horns, that there is no rabbit with horns.
False.
No, like,
Ribongira.
Ribongira.
Matong nayang. Ribongira meba.
so how do we know the same way? But because we've not seen attachment.
He's a very complicated person. Okay.
It's good.
That's good. That kechichudi nyaliya rebong jadi yume tali chebda rebong jadi azulne kigu yumeti nyal hako ba rebong jadi ngadne kigu na rebong gola radi unye redo remedo rebong gola yoradi radi jadi do to sama jeju che chu ba tanda ngaju de jeju che di dechagi mancholo ne kigu yobati tsemechiru nyongweru dechagi mancholo ya ne kigu wondu zembe decha kurang ngegi mero
Gonda shena ya nupache.
dechagi mancholo ne kigu yobati mancholo hako yodu zembe decha mero sendu yobati seocha 다 되샤 매버 쇠 원도 전에 아니 신내다 띵이 전 소고도 조르셰 아니 지기 감공민 셈다 소고 하를 놓고 이전에 지기 되샤스 매버 조치 차요 전에 되샤 매버 차 성원이 되기가 이나야 되샤 끼 고석이 시디 가르치는 기교를 세주 전에 시코랑문에 누가 없었지 시코랑문이 이동원지 누가 시코랑문에 그게 도와세 랍사지 시라서나 추미 이지기 남도 더 따셔야 돼요. 추미 이지기 남도 더 따서고 쉬고라 안에 되나로 좋아 대화지 된다라 안에 디 라이 타기시 그래서 정말 잘하는 사람들 봐. 그냥 안 줄이야. 미비기 시지 라서나 그 자손이 뭐 정말 대셔야 돼요. 이번지서기 시지 말 면도나 남이 게요. 있어요.
So when we look to check whether there's horns of a rabbit or not, we can hum that there are horns of a rabbit. It's not, the rabbits don't have horns, right? So we can hum that. But then when we look for attachment to see if we can hum it's either harm the attachment or not, then there are ways to like harm the attachment in ways of reducing the attachment. So like certain meditations that we can do and going on to the meditative absorptions of the concentration of the absorption realms, we can go through those to prevent attachment from arising. So we can harm attachment in the way of like suppressing it through these different concentration levels, right? But then if we look to then see whether attachment itself, like you're saying, if it's valid, if it can only arise through this grasping at the self or not, then what we do is we have to look and analyze what the object of that attachment is, how that is appearing to us. And so where does that attachment arise from? So the very underlying base of the attachment arising is this seeing the object to exist in a certain way. And so the where did I go? 1 minute. I'll bring it all together. Samason tik to start. Just went blank for a sec. Hang on. The taksagi the
Maybe tesos lagwa. Maybe tesagishi.
Yeah. Yeah. So the object that is the basis for which the attachment is observing that object. Then where did it go? Gondani temperature tama. So nyingi temperature. Kamjiga.
Deep this one. Maybe tasagi. This one. So now once you feel like the truly existence of that object is there, once you have that, then it's a matter of time when you are going to bring more information, exaggeration on that. Exaggeration on that. A matter of the time. Because you already have this
the object of observation there.
Yeah, it's already there. So that's why I told you that my teacher, when he had this quite struggling with the attachment, and then he did many kind of practices, which it's very difficult to bring it down. But then when he made this syllogism, saying that take that person as an object, and then that it is I'm not right to bring this attachment towards that, because that object, how it appears to me, that object does not exist. That's very powerful. Right? Tada, Mara Tushita, I gave a pushing to the magic chabina, and Chuggy permitted churches. Kyola charm on this, like that, like charm on this, and Chuggy permitted measures. Dana? I don't know what you love with the Komida, or Kochi, Gundua, Policy, those Mabuki Shilmado. I talked up Krom.
So like the syllogism or the correct sign that we posited before, in order to overcome attachment, take the woman that is the object of my attachment. It is not suitable to be attached to her or to that, because the woman that is the object of my attachment doesn't exist, or doesn't exist in the way it appears. Doesn't exist.
But it is better to say it doesn't exist.
Yeah, doesn't exist.
So then you will not go crazy. They're like, okay. So then the next question will like, then there's no object or not. Then it's a different case of the story. Now we are checking with the object of the attachment. We are not investigating about the women, about the phenomena itself. We are here to check how we are locked into this kind of truly existence that I, truly existence of that girl, truly existence of that boy. That how it appears to you, that does not exist. That's why we say when we make a praise to the Majeshwari, remember in that Majeshwari prayer, I think it is there already. Who are imprisoned in the cycle of existence and tormented by the suffering of blinding the darkness of ignorance. So that's why we say we need wisdom to see. So, and also in all the 6 parameters, there are brothers. One who has the eye, the rest are the blind. Which one is with the eye is the wisdom. So why? This is the reason. Okay. So we stop here today. And, whoever has a question, tomorrow, Sorry.
Om Sajidagi Shri Meton Virat Minjini Yevadi Zangye Shindu Bide Vulayi Doge Nanda Shima Chubashu Jetsu Lame Gutse Ratenche Nanka Jene Jotuye Pada Lozan Tenpe Deme Zazungi Dove Munza Dadu Yegyuji Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Gami Adayami.
We do this Lamrim prayer, okay? This one.
I can only do it.
Oh, you can do it in English? Yeah.
From my 2 types of merits, vast the space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief, leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all life's Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I revere this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless space, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
Long life for His Holiness.
Yeah. Gangira ve kove jingandi menande vamare jumle jene zuvante jinya zuri shabe zite vadu tengyuji yevar kundu yandan amada deme chuki pela longjuji zara lamdi Doji Changi Gopan Yuto Shon Jambe Pavujitan Kipadam Kudu Zambo Deyan Deshinde Deda Kungi Jesu Daloji Gewa Dila Pamje Rabdo Mo
Tsenshab Rinpoche Mayepa
Giduji
Yeba Nyamba Namo Yang
Kondo Dewa Sho